April 7th, a silent tremor shook the tech world. Anthropic built its most powerful AI model yet, Claude Mythos, and immediately locked it away, deeming it too dangerous for mankind. At the center of a devastating new threat matrix, Mythos doesn't just find security flaws, it chains them together, systematically dismantling the infrastructure holding our world together. This is the Mythos moment, and the internet will never be the same again.
On April 7th, the artificial intelligence company Anthropic made an unusual announcement. They had finished building their newest model, Claude Mythos, but they refused to release it, deeming the system too dangerous and initiating a self-imposed lockdown. Looking at this threat diagram, Claude Mythos sits at the center, stringing scattered security flaws into devastating exploit chains. Mythos uncovered a 27-year-old OpenBSD vulnerability and a 16-year-old FFmpeg bug, bedrock systems protecting hospitals and banks. It found flaws human tools missed 5 million times. If a single model can systematically dismantle software that has been scrutinized by experts for decades, the code running our power grids and payment systems is effectively open for the taking. For decades, the internet relied on a security détente. Writing software and finding vulnerabilities both required immense skill. That balance has been upended by vibe coding. Millions without engineering backgrounds now generate complete software applications using plain language prompts, spinning up unreviewed apps in minutes. This flood of new, insecure code sits right on top of the internet's oldest vulnerability, open source projects. Much of our critical digital infrastructure is maintained quietly by unpaid volunteers working in their spare time, often without any dedicated security teams to review their work. Because AI drops the barrier for both creation and destruction to zero, the internet's historical defensive perimeter has vanished. The everyday creators who gain the most from these tools are now the most exposed to automated attacks. This infographic outlines Anthropic's response, the Vault Protocol. They restricted access to Mythos, handing the model and computing credits to a tightly controlled group of 50 organizations, like Microsoft and JP Chase. The logic: let these firms patch their networks before exploits are weaponized. This gated release model is becoming the industry standard. OpenAI and other leading labs are adopting similar restrictions, rolling out advanced cybersecurity AI exclusively to vetted partners. While tech companies frame this as a defensive necessity, it creates a protective bubble. It turns top-tier cybersecurity into an exclusive country club that the vast majority of the internet cannot enter. Looking at this slide, we see the abrupt end of the laissez-faire AI era. The Trump administration championed unfettered private competition to win the global AI race, but the sheer destructive capability of Mythos forced a pivot toward a national security lockdown. The reaction in Washington was immediate. The Pentagon stepped in after Anthropic refused its use in autonomous weapons, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent summoned the leaders of the biggest banks for urgent talks. The panic quickly spread. The Bank of England warned that this technology could crack the whole cyber risk world open, and Canada's finance minister compared the threat to the closure of a strategic shipping lane like the Strait of Hormuz. When an AI release is compared to a blockade of global trade, it moves from consumer tech into strategic weaponry. Governments are now treating these models as assets that can be granted to allies or withheld from rivals to dictate security terms. Despite the corporate lockdowns, cybersecurity experts argue that hiding a dangerous tool behind a vault door does nothing to fix the underlying vulnerabilities. If the flaws are still in the code, the danger remains. This diagram illustrates why national control struggles against technical realities. Open source competitors, including those in China, are estimated to be only months behind. Computing power is a global commodity, and engineering talent moves freely between companies, meaning these capabilities will eventually be available to everyone. Locking AI in a corporate vault is temporary. It delays, rather than prevents, the proliferation to bad actors. This graphic reveals the true cost of the Vault Protocol. We are dividing the internet into two tiers. The insiders, entrenched companies and elite banks, secure themselves and reap massive profits. Meanwhile, outsiders, like open-source maintainers, are left without defenses they need to survive. To truly protect the digital world, AI companies must directly fund the open-source workers who maintain our infrastructure. Security needs to be built into AI coding tools as a default, rather than a premium feature reserved for the few. As this dossier outlines, The Mythos Moment demands a total redesign of our social contract. Unfettered competition has proven too dangerous. But if we rely on corporate vaults for safety, we risk a future where only the wealthiest firms can survive a cyber attack.